we're learning from this other one is that it's a subjective thing.
Mm-hmm.
Although there are objective references in city and county tax records, etc., that specify zoning and land use ordinance, etc. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, because he specified that on that appraisal, there's an overlay on the investor who's doing this non-QM loan, who says, well, then you either have to, there's a cost, or we need lower loan to value. So you have to put a higher amount down. And you figure on a loan that big, a certain amount down might mean $100,000.
Yeah.
So you have to put $100,000 more down, or you can't do the loan, or there's this cost built in. And it's because the appraiser on a subjective line item, it doesn't have to be subjective, it actually should be objective, but chose to put something. And we have experience with that appraiser, and that appraiser is nuts. And so,
is this only for non-QM?
Would this only be a thing for non-QM? I don't know the answer to that. Yeah, I don't know,
because that's like our third line of attack on this, right?
There's nuance to that too.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's what I sought clarity on that last night as well. We were always non-QM, but we were non-QM primary. So we never specified like primary versus.
Yeah.
We are always non-QM on this because of all the other factors, but it's non-QM primary or non-QM secondary.
Okay. So shouldn't matter then.
It matters because that thing was.
No, I mean, like, it's not going to make it better if we do primary versus secondary.
Primary is still the best rate by far. And actually the rate is great.
That like cost or
that cost would be the same no matter what.
Okay.
And even if it would go away, it wouldn't be worth going to secondary.
And how come we're only learning this now?
Because we only got the appraisal now.
But the other guy had it.
In a way, well, it's like no one, he wouldn't have known to look at it. The other lender would not have known to look there. And then it only mattered once the transfer to the non-QM line away from PennyMac.
I see.
So it only matters now, and it was only released to the new line now.
Okay.
And so, yeah, there's a lot.
Fun.
Yeah.
What's up? Hi, guys.
Are we live?
We've been live.
Oh, hello.
Oh.
Welcome.
Welcome. Oh, do you have the computer thing?
It's right there.
Oh, did we drop it? Sorry. Okay. All right. Welcome back to live. I don't know at what point we went live, but this is some high level. We actually have the solutions to the problem. However, we want to make a better solution for our client. So if that thing gets changed, then the overlay goes away.
Yeah.
And so I asked the lender, I'm like, if you have them change that thing, does the investor or the wholesale line then look and go, yeah, you guys kind of change it?
Right.
Like, and they said, no, we've already gotten pre-approval that if the appraiser will change it, it's
Given
fine.
This is changed, we're good.
We're good. We'll accept. Yeah. If the appraiser made a mistake, we'll look at it as a mistake. But
man, this guy.
I have two experiences with this appraiser. In both instances, wasn't clean, wasn't good, and I'm concerned. But at least we know, we'll know the answer to this. Maybe if you're interested, leave us a comment on next week's live. We could tell you sort of the outcome. We have to stay vague, for client protection, HIPAA, for HIPAA. But yeah, if the appraiser is willing to look at city and county tax record and change the classification of this, rather than just go, yeah, it took me a long time to get over here. You know what I mean? And so get horses.
Oh yeah, I drove far, so must be this.
That don't make it not urban. Like Oahu is just urban everywhere. But in any case, and you can't even do USDA over there.
No, which should be, I feel like
another correlating, supporting point, right? Yeah. And so, but as always, we upload these to all the podcast platforms as the Hawaii Real Estate Podcast, and we're, of course, here live on YouTube on our Moving Hawaii channel, which is the real estate channel for Core Team Hawaii, brokered by EXP. we're Hawaii's #1 YouTube real estate team and just one of the top teams, period. Today, the topic, Kenji, we've done hundreds of these at this point, and not only the Sunday drops, but the weekly lives. And so, like, well, what do you want to talk about today? Well, you guys just got a look behind the curtain at some really thick real estate nuance. But also, I'm going to share an excerpt from a book that I've been reading over a long period of time. Takes me a long time to read a book. A book that I've been reading and how it relates to our business and how we already used the principles in our business, but it helps us to like validate what we do and what makes us different. And so I'm going to share that with you guys. As always, go to the bottom of coreteamhawaii.com, fill out the contact form. Sunday through Thursday, our assistant is on and ready to answer your calls during business hours, and even late into the evening. On Friday and Saturday, there might be a little bit more of a delay, but in any case, coreteamhawaii.com, go to the bottom, fill out the contact form, and then you can get to our YouTube that way as well. But you're already here. So how's one thing that I've heard you and Aiden say is every file has something right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have
there's nothing
one.
easy right now.
I have just one. Fingers crossed that it just stays smooth. But literally every other file, there either is something or there's been something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? It's just like end of the year, like getting it all, because 2026, we're selecting great files, smooth files. That drop down menu is going to be smooth, no drama,
We're not complaining about the great life and great business that we have, but it's just, this is quasi sort of television, right? And so you want the drama, right? You want this.
Everybody wants the tea. I mean, was it last week Saturday? I don't know, but like every single file, like had like at least a little fire.
What about the short appraisal? We haven't gotten notice back
Not yet.
Today?
Not yet.
No?
I don't know. We don't have an exact date. I just followed up on that. But like every single file had like a little bit something. And then I partner with Aiden. If you guys work with our team, like Aiden and I will do some work together on some transactions with some clients, kind of depending on the file. But I have a few with him right now. And like throughout the whole day, probably like sprinkled through hourly, there was some kind of bad news, like email or text message.
Was that last Wednesday?
No, it was a weekend because I feel like,
weekend.
it was,
okay,
a weekend. And then I finally like worked through the list of like putting out all the fires, like getting everything where they needed to be to feel good,
then it blew up again.
And then Aiden's like, oh, did you not? You weren't CC'd on this email. I'm like, oh, what are you talking about? He CCs me, and I'm like, great.
Which one was it? What was it?
I honestly don't even remember because it was just like every single thing. And in my text message, it's like all caps to him. He's like, ooh, like, oh, shucks. And I'm like, that's okay. That's great. I love my problems effing sprinkled through the entire effing day. Like that's, it's like sometimes the energy is just
slow
like
drip.
Yeah. Because real estate is like that, where you can have like everything's going very smoothly, but things can turn on a dime and it's about your, how you react to that, how you manage everything, and everything can be solved. Everything will have, a resolution. But when everything like piles on the same day, it's like the mental Olympics that have to happen.
We have the days where we wake up, we said, I'm go gym a little bit later today. Go to the gym, start mid-morning. I'm going to wrap it early afternoon today. But those are needed because you have other days. So last Wednesday, and then you have the weekends, that are filled with work a lot of times. And so last Wednesday, Aiden and I went to go do some showings with this client.
Oh, that was a crazy day too.
It was a crazy day, yeah. And I was like, in my mind, I was like, I don't have to be there at all times, for this. And so maybe I'll drive separate, either show up late or show up early. And then I have other things I need to do, and we'll divide and conquer. It was a good thing that we rode together and showed together, because Aiden spent the second half of that outside, putting out fires, just tending to chaos. And I was able to help the clients directly.
Yeah.
And the second showing, just to give you an idea, from like a realist, real estate industry coaches corner sort of thing. Agents are chaotic people. We have to be. Or
Yeah.
we have to be at least capable of managing the chaos.
Yeah.
And usually the people who are a little chaotic themselves. And so the agent was late, and then she goes, no. It's 12:45, not 12:30, but Aiden like had it was like 12:30.
Oh no, the way our itineraries look, we know.
We know. And so
Yeah.
then Aiden she went after a while, we got comfortable with one another, and she admit, she's like, I thought it was 3:00. And so when I was notified that I was supposed to be there, like now, I said, oh crap. And I threw on clothes as fast as possible and I came down here. So I apologize for being late. And I was just like, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
That's the kind of person who can manage that. And she was also she does property management. So she was like, oh, right before this, as all that's happening, I'm on a phone call where the resident manager said he was going to kill my tenant's dog.
Oh my gosh, I have had like not resident manager, but like the HOA
It
representative.
was something like that.
Same.
Yeah, one of those. I said
Not-
resident manager, just
Not kill your dog, but like this past week has been dealing with that. Like, geez, the personalities.
and so in real estate, there are fires, and so she's like, oh, these fires, and so then on this third showing, the agent's like, oh, where's Aiden Merton or whatever. I was like, oh, I'm actually the team lead. I'm taking over. He's out there putting out fires.
And she's like, no, but it says Aiden Martin. So-
No, she wasn't. She was
dang.
also flustered. I could tell she was late. She didn't know where the laundry was in the building. Didn't know all sorts of things.
No, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. But in any case, it's okay when I look at a potential real estate agent in the industry, and this could be someone in Tennessee saying, hey, do you think I should get into the industry, and just wanting to have a talk. If they're a little crazy and chaotic, that's fine. It's how do they manage it? How do they bring it all together?
Yeah.
We do a really good job of
Mhm.
bringing it all together with multiple personality types. We have 4 assistants. We have systems that really work.
Mhm. I get a
pretty
lot
dang
of like
well.
reach outs from people just kind of like asking.
Should I get in the industry?
Yeah.
And for most people, well, how do you approach it? Because I know how I approach that.
Well, I ask why they want to do it. And primarily when I know it's a no. And I'm like, well, why do you want to do it? And are you trying to make this your livelihood? And is this how you're going to earn a living? And if the answer is yes, I want this to be the way I earn a living, but it's also, I want to have a flexible schedule where I can decide when I work.
I want to dress nice,
Yeah.
look pretty or handsome, have a
Yeah.
flexible schedule, and make a lot of money.
I'm like, oh, that's not
how that goes.
That's not how that goes.
Yeah,
but
And
and
none of
I'll-
the people around me are attractive. That's not how that. Just kidding.
you old, you need to get your eyes checked.
I know I am old. I kind of lift my arm, my shoulder.
Oh, that's pretty good today. It's better
I've
than it
been
was
working on it.
yesterday.
I iced it. Yeah. But yeah. Well, the way I approach that conversation is just like you. Why?
Mhm,
Almost always, I'm challenging their why. Like
mhm.
those are not good reasons. The thing is, you don't even understand what
Right.
real estate is. So a better question would be, can you tell me what I'd even be doing and getting into? Like, what does it even mean to make this transition? Once I explain that to you, I try to talk you out of it because you aren't crazy and obsessive and committed enough. And then if you are, you do it no matter what I say.
Yeah.
Despite what I say, you'd probably do it. And so that's usually how I approach that. In rare cases, a less crazy person, like say Aiden, we talk and I just sort of, Aiden, I didn't like necessarily talk him out of it. So Aiden's not as crazy and chaotic, but he is obsessive.
Yes. I mean, he's not
Proof.
normal.
No, you can't be normal and successful in this business. Proof. Congrats to Aiden. He had his first jiu-jitsu competition this weekend. He fought really well. I'm an old jiu-jitsu guy, and so I attended the tournament and yelled out some things and tried to help. But he did amazing. And I thought about that, and I think Aiden can hear us in the other room. But I thought about that, and it makes sense because you maybe you don't have to be chaotic and crazy. You do have to be obsessive, and the proof of him training like for 2-3 months and going morning and night and morning and night and morning and night and doing that well in competition just shows you're the type of person that could be good at real estate because you are into immersion and obsession. Let me know if we have comments.
We have some
I have
comments.
it pulled up here too, or Mahi's got it. In the meantime, I'm going to read this. I'm going to read this part from this book. So the book is The Psychology of Money, promo for Jason Zweig. Oh no, Morgan Housel. In any case, this is one of the most popular money books right now. One of the most popular personal finance books right now. I think it's a really good one. And although I understand a decent amount of the principles taught in here, it's good to reinforce. I'm learning new things, and it's a really good book. I think everyone should read it. But I was specifically reading a page or a few paragraphs here, and I was like sort of halted. I was like, oh, this is great validation for the way that we operate in our business. And so I'm going to read a few things. He says, Graham's margin of safety is a simple suggestion that we don't need to view the world in front of us as black or white, predictable or crapshoot. Basically, he's saying the world's not binary. It's not good and bad. It's not yes or no. It's not black and white. He goes on to say the gray area, pursuing things where a range of potential outcomes are acceptable, is the smart way to proceed. I love that it's the smart way to proceed. The child in me is like, you said I'm smart. You validated me. You gave me a good job and pat on the back. So I'm going to read that again. Pursuing things where a range of potential outcomes are acceptable is the smart way to proceed. Acceptable. So sometimes a seller comes and they're like, I have to sell for $800,000. If I don't, I'm underwater. I don't have the money to bring forth the escrow. I'm just saying there aren't acceptable outcomes under 800,000. So I would change the word acceptable. And for us, pursuing things where a range of potential outcomes is possible. View it in a range, a nuanced range of possible outcomes. It's the best way to approach things as a buyer and as a seller. It's not always the best way to approach things as a salesperson. And we spent time talking about that yesterday from, drawing parallels from like a consult with a doctor who says, this is the way versus a doctor who goes, 10% chance this, 80% chance that. And so really smart people don't often speak in absolutes when giving advice about unpredictable things. So how much will my house sell for? It's not entirely predictable. There's no glass, there's no crystal ball, and there's no absolute knowing. Even in a community where it's 100 of the same exact floor plan, and there's no cul-de-sacs, there's 100 of the same thing. It's tightly predictable. The nuance and the range of potential outcomes is a lot smaller, but we don't know exactly. Are we going to sell exactly at 800,000? Could we get 805? Could we get 798? We don't know exactly, and it's good to be honest and nuanced about that with the client. But sometimes clients just want to hear. Now, the way that I saw an agent who we know put a post out recently, and they are trying to basically sabotage the other agents. It's like, I'm not mad at it. This is part of salesmanship or saleswomanship. And she's like, I'm going to tell you 3 things that if your agent doesn't know this,
Oh
then,
my gosh.
I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
And so first ask, how are they going to position your home to, and I'm like, oh, these are great, buzzwords, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so they're basically setting traps. They're saying like, does your agent know absolute outcomes? And so that wasn't the whole message, but part of it was, do they know for sure? That was a part of what they're saying. And the thing is you can't know for sure. I can't know that your home will definitely sell for 800,000 or definitely sell for 2 million. What we can talk is the probability. And the thing is when you, especially in let's say $1 million in Eva or something, or in a condo building, we can we can guarantee with a high 95% plus confidence level, 99%, that at like $1 it sells, because Kenji will buy it if you're going to sell it for $10, or even you sell it for $10,000. Figure it out. Sell his truck because it's worth 800, right? Or it's worth $1 million. So it's like 100% confidence all the way up until this small range. And then the range at which it drops off is like, there's no way in heck it's ever going for that. So now we talk about this window right here. And that's what we should talk about. And confidence, it goes down as you go towards
either direction.
as you go towards the
that
right,
way it's
because
like for sure you're going.
there's no way you're going to sell it for 1.1 million. It's just not even, I don't care what church you go to. It's not happening. And so, but we can speak in a range. Sometimes sellers want to hear absolutes. On the buy side, Mahe, sometimes buyers are like, well, tell me exactly the dollar amount I need to offer so that I get it.
Yeah.
But I'm only $100 over the next offer.
Yeah.
You're like, well, that's not how free market works,
Uh-huh.
actually.
Mm-hmm.
Our clients from Sweden were like, no, they have to tell you what their offer is.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. She was like, they have to tell you what their other offer is so you can go higher.
That would be so crazy.
That's like an auction. That's different. So it's like, well,
Mhm.
they're willing to buy it for 805. Like, okay,
Mhm.
806. Do I
Yeah.
hear 807?
Yeah.
Do I hear 808?
Uh-huh.
Well, that's not how it works. They intentionally keep you in the dark so that maybe you offer more.
Right.
So you as a buyer's agent can talk about
How bad do you want it? How tied are you to this home? How long do you plan on being in it? Because those are all questions that are important. Because if it's like, oh, I'm obsessed with this house, but I'm only going to be here 2 years, you don't want to overpay, because then you have
Yeah.
to think of your exit on the way out. And
that's a great point that we didn't necessarily cover yesterday. So it's like, let's offer this number. If we lose, we lose. I don't care because I have to think about a 24-month from now
Yeah.
exit.
sometimes I'll have clients who are like, I don't care. I'm obsessed with it. Well, like, we'll pay whatever. I'm like, okay, I hear you. However, you are leaving in 2 years.
Yeah.
So we do
Probably
need to,
3 or 4.
yeah, 2
Not
to
often
3.
2.
2 to
We
3
try to
years.
talk 2-year people and us out of it.
But it's like,
But yeah.
I'm not saying don't buy the house. I'm saying there needs to be, and another agent might not bring that up to you and be like, cool, you want to offer, by $100,000, let's go for it. You're going to get it if we do that.
You're saying you're not going to lie to them about the probability
Correct.
of a situation where they can't exit successfully.
Because people want to hear the for sure thing. And that's great. And like this book that's talking about like, oh, how the nuance in the gray areas is what's important and what's smart to
That's
consider.
smart, yeah.
But when people want to hear like, I'm for sure going to get this house, like, sure, if it's worth 800, I'm like, sure, you're for sure going to get it for $1 million because nobody else is going to pay that. You for sure going to get that. Great. You have a for sure answer, but what's the probability that you're going to have a problem unloading that in
Mhm.
3 years because you overpaid by $200,000 and now you have fees on the way out? Like we can give you a for sure answer on a number of things, but we're never going to do that in a way that is inauthentic where we misrepresent
You know, we can give you a for sure answer on. If you want to buy at this number, what rate can we lock at? We can tell what your payment would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we can tell you your payment.
Today.
And property taxes could shift a little and
Yeah.
insurance could shift. We tell you principal and interest guaranteed.
Mm.
And so there are certain for sure things, but in terms of what will it go for? Now, occasionally the thing that defies what we're saying is like if we have a relationship with the agent
Mm.
and they say, before we say our number, they say theirs, like, write me an offer for $1.010 million and I guarantee you got it.
Mm.
Now we have to interpret what that means though. They don't even have $1 million,
Yeah.
and like,
Yeah.
so $1.010 million get it? Like, could we go less? Maybe. And let's talk about that. But if you're like, I don't care, Derek, this is the house that's 2 doors down from my mom's house, which is perfect because I don't want to be next to her.
Yeah.
But I'm down to be 2 doors down and I
Mhm.
want it. And we're staying for 20 years and
Yeah.
$10,000 means nothing over 20 years.
Yeah.
Write the offer.
Mhm.
But anyways, yeah. So I'm going to read more about more in this book. But people underestimate the need for room for error in almost everything they do that involves money. Stock analysts give their clients price targets, not ranges. Economic forecasters predict things with precise figures, rarely broad probabilities. The pundit who speaks in unshakable certainties will gain a larger following than the one who says, "We can't know for sure," and speaks in probabilities. That's kind of my point to like, it doesn't always serve us as salespeople to speak in ranges and nuance and probabilities, but it's what we prefer to do. And when we break from that, it's either one, it's the type of client who's like, I don't really care. Like, I appreciate the video you and Mahi made for me, and all the detail is great. And I watched it once or twice. But from here forward, just tell me the price. You tell me, like, so sometimes we break. We're never going to make the decision for you because it's your property, your decision. But we can kind of lead a bit more when that situation happens. Or I might ask you, and this is kind of audacious thing to say, but I might say, hey, Mr. Seller and Mrs. Seller, does it confuse you, make you feel like uneasy when I'm speaking in all this detail and nuance? Like, do you want me to keep it to like one or two numbers? And they, yeah. It's either I just can't understand it, or I'm so stressed about having to sell. We didn't plan on selling. And so then we can kind of do that. But our preference is to speak in a bit of a range, because that's what we're going to encounter. Like, we're going to list on Tuesday. We're going to have an open house on Sunday. We're going to hope to receive some offers the next Tuesday or Monday. And they're going to come in a range, assuming we get multiple, or there's a possibility we don't get multiple, right? And we shouldn't have deployed that strategy. So, all right, I'm going to go on for sure. All right, I'm going to go on. It said for sure here. We can't know for sure, and speaks in probabilities. We do this in all kinds of financial endeavors, especially those related to our own decisions. Harvard psychologist Max Bazerman once showed that when analyzing other people's home renovation plans, people think that those other people, their renovations are going to go over time and over budget. That's the way people look at, oh, Sally's doing her roof and her kitchen, whatever, guaranteed to go over budget. But when it comes to their own projects, people estimate that renovations will be completed on time and on budget. Oh, the eventual disappointment. So let's talk about the seller. The seller might be like, well, how can John next door expect the agent to know exactly what going to sell for down to the dollar? Like, the agent's not a psychic. But when John has a problem and is stressed and wants to sell his house, or when the person wants to sell their house, they're like, hey, agent, hey, professional, tell me exactly.
Yeah.
God forbid any of us ever have to see the oncologist. But the oncologist, right, speaks in percentages and probabilities when you're diagnosed, right? But you would love to hear, tell me exactly when.
Yeah.
Now I want the date, or I want 4 chemo, 6 chemotherapy? Tell me what I got to do exactly.
Yeah, if I do this, how much longer? Like, just everything. Life doesn't work like that.
Unfortunately,
it does not work like that. And there is, like, you have to caution yourself, and people who work and exist and, are in spaces where things are not absolute, but they're speaking to you in absolutes. That's something to always be cautious about, because I can speak in confidence. I can speak and have confidence in my probabilities that I'm presenting.
And that's what confident, we see it in sales. You see it when dealing with, I was in the medical field, and I was both sometimes at the ortho clinic, and I'm observing like the consult and how the surgeon consults the family. But then I'm also in surgery with the x-ray machine, and I'm seeing how they perform the surgery. And sometimes they match, sometimes they don't. But what the patient can judge is, well, was the facility clean? Did they communicate well and on time? Were they on time and decently on time with my appointment? And then did they speak confidently and assertively? And if they did, I feel good about you cutting my back open for L5 S1 fusion or whatever. You're not a good judge of whether they're good at L5 S1
Yeah.
fusions actually, because you're going off of the parking and the cleanliness of the office, which may or may not be relevant, right? May or may not
Yeah.
correlate strongly. And so, but that's what you know. And as a human, you just do your best to be the best judge that you can.
Yeah.
And so
Of
yeah,
course, at the end of the
confidence.
day, like whatever you're doing, if it's important to you, go with the people that make you feel good and confident and comfortable. But be careful
Yeah.
because there are a lot of people in our industry and many industries like ours where a big personality and, you know, a strong, assertive voice, no matter what you're saying, because the average person every day doesn't do real estate transactions all day, every day.
The guy seemed like he knew his crap.
Yeah.
He spoke.
Well, I mean, he knows what he's
confidently.
talking about. Every question I asked him, he had an answer. Sure. That's called a script.
Like literally real estate agents do script training.
Mhm.
Where like you read the script and then you dialogue back. And I said, like, what would be an example of the script training? It'd be like
Which any kind of objection handling.
objection handling classes and sessions and sparring. And you have this sales trainer saying like, but you know what, Derek, because in the classic sales training, we don't behave this way. If you get a listing appointment, if you get someone who's interested in selling their home, you go and you bring a paper with all the pre-filled stuff. You have them sign it. You lock it in there, so they don't speak to Mahe after this.
Yeah.
Sign with Derek. And like, okay, well, I want to think about it and consult my wife. And then the objection handling that I might say is like, oh yeah, do you ask her to go to the bathroom too, or whatever?
Or
Probably not
whatever.
that. That's
Yeah.
too abrasive, but. So I'm like, okay, well, I understand wanting a decision maker to chime in. Do you think that your wife would feel confident about things I presented here? Do you think
Mhm.
that she would want the home sold at the highest price
Do
and for
you
the least
think-
hassle?
Do you think that it would, you know, alleviate some of the stress from your wife's life if you handled this for her?
Oh, that's a good one. Mahi's better at this than me.
As a wife, I'm
Yeah,
like,
as a
what are
wi-
the things I would hear that would be like, oh yeah,
Do you want to be a bad husband?
yeah.
You want to stress her out?
Do you think that your wife wants you to make her make the decision again?
Do you think she respects men who can't make decisions and lead? You guys are Christian, right?
Yeah. Do you believe in divorce?
Yeah.
Because your wife's tired of making all the decisions. So
Yeah.
I mean, you know, just obviously these are like super abrasive, but you know, there are like classes that agents can sign up for that are simply for objection handling, where it's like write down every negative thing you could think that a person would have.
And so the reason how we got here was
Yeah, how do we
confidence can
Yes.
overtake, and someone who doesn't want to hear nuance but does want to hear confidence can get this big trained personality who can lead them to where the salesperson wants them to be, rather than speaking the nuanced and the ranges that are a little bit difficult and take a little bit more mental energy. And here's the thing. You'd be like, I love your guys' channel. I love your live. I want you guys to sell my place. I saw the one on the Nuance. What I want to tell you is I trust you. So you don't have to just kind of give me the price. Keep it short and sweet. Let's get into the nuance, but it has to be too long because I trust you guys. I've been watching your channel. I've watched hundreds of hours of your content. And then that works out beautifully. Like we love that. And that happens quite a bit. I'm going to read just a little bit more. I'm going to pivot to some questions. This was a hard paragraph for me to conceptualize and understand, actually. And so Mahe, like yesterday, she spent some time on the second part of this. 2 things that cause us to avoid room for error. Another way that the author could have said this is 2 things that cause real estate clients to avoid nuance when looking at writing an offer or looking at pricing their home. One is the idea that somebody must know what the future holds, driven by the uncomfortable feeling that comes from admitting the opposite. It's unnerving, it's insecure to admit that the future is uncertain, right? And so that's what he's saying in that sentence. This sentence is a little weirder for me. I still don't know if I fully get it. The second thing that causes you to avoid nuance is that you're therefore doing yourself harm by not taking actions that fully exploit an accurate view of the future. Oh, I get it now after a day. Yeah. So the first would have had to been true. Someone knows the absolute outcome. And then
And therefore,
I do exactly. I do 4 chemos and I
Mhm.
don't have cancer, right?
correct. Yeah.
Love to everyone out there going through something.
But it's the idea that we are somehow doing ourselves a disservice by not aggressively attacking the for sure thing that we think is for sure.
I paint here's a real estate example. I paint the house and I redo the floors, and instead of $1 million, I will get 1.1.
Mhm.
It's absolute. And you want the agent to tell you that, right? No, it's like probabilities, like maybe not. And let's talk about protecting your investment and not doing all of that, because it may or may not pay off. Plus, we got to factor in your stress and the chance that contractors mess things up. Like let's consider it holistically and talk about whether we should or shouldn't. Our shorter version of that is the juice worth the squeeze.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. Room for error lets you endure a range of potential outcomes, and endurance lets you stick around long enough to let the odds work in your favor. I want to stop there because it starts to get into more like, probabilities. And if you wait long enough in your index fund, things will pay off. But I really like those few paragraphs because it really validates the way we do business. And it really is sort of antithetical to the way I see some salespeople approaching conversations with clients about how to structure their offer or how to position their house to sell. And I love it. And when it's not you saying it and it's someone greater than you, I don't actually know who this person is, but I know they wrote an amazing book, and I'm sure that their resume is astounding. So what questions do we have?
First one, how's it? This is from Aloha State of Mind. How's it? Diamond Head Sand, we were just talking about this. Diamond Head Sand Studio has been on the market for a while and has dropped the price twice, but still overpriced. Seller, unfortunately, will take a loss. This is from Aloha State of Mind.
Well, here's the conversation with that seller is if you have something common, you have 1,000 of the same home in Ewa Beach or 100 on the same street. And, out of the 100, 10 of them sell and exchange every year. And we kind of know what they're going to go for. And everyone needs a $900,000 3-2 in Ewa. Like, it's just a common thing. That's going to go quick. And if you're not selling and it looks nice and it's renovated, if that's not selling, it's because you're overpriced. It's pretty simple. But then you have, let's say I have a 17 bedroom.
Yeah.
I have a 17 bedroom. I'm not talking about like Shaq's house in Miami. I just have a 17 bedroom in Kalihi, and it's kind of a 4-plex situation, and parking's not, there's only 4 parkings, and that just takes the right buyer. And so might I be overpriced? Sure, I may be overpriced. But we also have to remain open to the fact that the pool of buyers for that thing is just small. The pool of buyers might be 0 at any given moment. And so if you're selling something incredibly unique and your pool of buyers may fluctuate between 0 and 1 or 2, it may be time that you need and not price reduction. And that's just the nature of selling unique things. If you want to go sell a 3-year-old Tacoma in Hawaii, you're overpriced if it's not selling because there's so many 3-year-old Tacoma buyers. But if you want to sell you want to sell a spaceship, or a 19 whatever Carmen Gia with a 350 Chevy dropped in it with a Holly carburetor and whatever, it's just like, yeah, the right buyer might not even exist on the day that you put it on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
And so there's a bit of that situation here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for asking a question that begs the nuance.
Yeah. Thank you
that
for
we were just talking
exactly.
about.
I was like, thanks for that question, because that gives us an opportunity to talk.
Yeah.
Put it in practice.
Yeah.
Okay. Miss Celine, sorry if I'm reading that wrong. I'm not a real estate person. I just enjoy your content and I love everything about the islands. Well, thank you. Thank you for
that.
hanging out with us. And she also said, he or she, not sure. I feel for you guys. LOL. I work in tech and it's the same thing, probably about like our schedules and fires and all kinds of stuff that happened whenever.
I'm sure. Yeah. Where's the tech thing? I don't see that on my.
You got to go probably to the bottom.
It's up. It's up.
Oh, okay.
He's
All
on his
right.
laptop, so it's like
It's different.
do a rave. How do you? I feel like you're hanging out with us
prefer
all the time.
Dorave.
Dorave. Okay.
Yeah, so I prefer.
Definitely not that.
It might be.
Maybe, probably not. But you tell us.
Dorave might be exotic, you know.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Anyway, in your opinion, being someone that is deep in the culture of the islands, I'm a white guy that spent his first 6 years of life on Oahu. Would there be a stigma around me if I was to move to Eva? Kenji kind of like replied to that already, that there's kind of like a lot of transplants in Eva, Kenny being one of them because he does live in Eva. But I might say, like, where are you going? What part of Eva?
Yeah.
What street in Eva?
Yeah.
Like what neighborhood? Because Eva is actually like, being that it's one of the last developing, like actively developing, sprawling residential spots on the island, there's just like a ton of diversity. And it's not just like local families that have been there forever. It can't be because it's new, you know?
Yeah, it's brand new. Like from the 90s on, I don't know the numbers, but Eva Beach has probably at least tripled in population. So
Right.
there's no way that it could be all.
Yeah.
It's not Wahiawa.
No. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it's still sprawling. So, you know, if I were somebody like worried about, you know, being a transplant and integration, I'd probably worry about at least one of the least like
One of the
worrisome
least in Eva.
spots for me would be Eva, because I would know that there's just like a lot of people that are new coming in. I'm not going to be the
Look at
only new
Kenny.
guy on the block. Yeah.
Like Kenny could
Kenny is
easily
thriving.
have problems. You know, like if you could see a world where Kenny is like, man, I hate it here. People are always messing with me. But
I've met people like that.
But Kenny's experience is, oh, we love it. And now Kenny's a little bit aloof to sort of like I wonder if there
matters too, you know.
I wonder if Kenny's probably had someone like eyeing him out or whatever, like where they're looking like, hey, you freaking holiday. And he's just like,
whatever.
What's up, man?
Yeah. Hey man, how's
I
it?
saw you looking at me. I figured you wanted a handshake. And then he just walks off and the person sort of disarmed, like,
yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What's happening? I could see that
I could
happening.
totally see that happening.
Yeah. So he has a good attitude and mindset. I'm not going to spend too much time on this because, you know, Mahi answered it. But, you know, I was born on the mainland. When I got here, I sounded like a little North Florida kid. And when I left, I was thinking about this other day because, like, my various accents come and go. And I remember being on Waimea Rock.
Mm-hmm.
I'm already signed up for the Coast Guard, I think, at the time. And then there was this guy, he was telling me, like, yeah, I just came home for a visit. And I born and raised in Kalihi and Kaimuki or whatever. But I did 20 years in the Air Force and now we live in wherever. And I remember this is so sort of I don't know the word trivial or ridiculous, but I remember thinking, I don't want to end up sounding like you. I don't want to lose the way I talk by joining the Coast Guard.
Mm-hmm.
And I have, and it sort of happened, not to his extent.
Yeah.
But the guy was born and raised and he was just, anyway. So that,
but I mean, that's human nature. Like we learn everything we do from the time we're babies by mirroring what people around us are doing.
And mine changed a lot throughout my childhood and development.
So I think that's normal.
But my point is I was Florida kid, I was Hawaii kid, then I was Coast Guard guy, and then I came back Hawaii real estate guy. And I guess my greatest point, my overarching point about this one is when you're an adult and you're a good person, who cares? Now, I can also be sympathetic and want local people to be able to stay here and thrive. And that's a kind of an adjacent but different topic. But in terms of if I go to New York and people don't like me or whatever, I'm like, who cares? Because I'm secure in who I am.
Yeah.
If I go to Seattle and I come across an asshole, who cares?
Yeah.
You know, and so now might I remove myself from that area if I don't enjoy the culture and the averages? Because like in the South, where I spent a lot of my more recent time in the South visiting my dad in Tennessee, there's this Southern comfort, this Southern hospitality, and and just this charm about it. You go to eat. You guys ate at Cracker Barrel when you were in the mainland?
Yeah, we did.
And then, so I seen this thing on Instagram where she's like, "Hey, sugar, what would you like to drink?" And then the Latina girlfriend's like, "Oh, his name's Kyle."
Oh yeah.
And she's like, "Sweetie, when I call your man sugar, it ain't because I want your man. That's what we do in the South or whatever." And like, I love that. But also, when I drive over there, they're not throwing shakas.
No.
And they're not letting you in. And I'm like, you rude freaking people
Yeah.
from the mainland. But I'm okay with the averages. That's the point I'm getting to. The average of that culture, I enjoy it. I enjoy the average of that culture. I assume, I may be wrong, I assume that if I go to Boston or New York, I'll meet some of the highest quality people I've ever met in my life. But I would not be okay with the average of my experience over time. And so I would leave.
Yeah.
And so I would say to individuals and ever or whatever, who cares? Like, forget them.
Yeah.
Just make sure your experience on average is above average.
Yeah.
All right. What's next?
Let's see.
Yeah, I watch it, but Kenny don't live on the west side of the island, right? No, he lives in Ewa Beach, but he lives in the new Ewa Beach.
Yeah. What do you see changing in 2026? Give us your Hawaii real estate predictions. That's such a broad question. We could spend 17 hours talking about that.
You know what? Let's make that our topic next week.
Yeah, I was gonna say let's push that to next week.
2026 real estate predictions.
Yeah.
But
So
I'll give you spoiler alert.
Come next week.
Inevitably, it's more of a macro conversation. There's only so much micro that like macro affects micro way too much. So interest rates and world conflicts and wars with China affect things way more than is Gentry building 10 more homes.
Yeah.
We don't have that kind of market.
Yeah.
Maybe in the outskirts of Nashville, they do, right? Like, well, D.R. Horton just decided to build more homes. But we'll get into some nuance next week on that, I think.
Yeah. Okay. HM, howdy from the East Coast. 10 degrees today. Ugh. Thinking of Hono Kauai.
Oh.
Nah. Okay.
yeah.
Kenji's hometown.
What? Not Honokai.
Oh, Hono Kauai. I always get those mixed up. As in,
that's Big Island or Maui?
No, it's
If
Maui.
it was Maui, you would.
Maui.
That's Maui, yeah.
Yeah, west side.
Honokai, baby.
Honokai. Kenji's like, nah, bro. I'm from what?
Honokai.
West Kapolei.
Yeah.
West Kapolei.
East Nanakuli, I think.
Wintertime, even in Hawaii. Oh yeah, look, I sent a picture of my husband to my husband. He's like, oh, it must be in the low 70s because you have your big coat on. How will I lost it?
New condos being finished.
How will new condos being finished and announced affect the prices of older ones if it doesn't?
So that's a micro event.
Yeah. Well,
And it's kind of focused Ward Village.
Ward Village. Okay, well, I can talk about that real quick because what a lot of people don't understand, including a client who I just kind of like talked to about this morning, Mike. These condos, the time that they're selling and you're putting your name down and contracting and putting your deposits down and all of that, it's like super far out from when they're actually being built. So property values are very different from the time that you actually purchase the home or like commit to purchasing the home. You commit to your purchase price in a current market, and then you get your keys in whatever the market looks like then. For instance, a Ward Village home, like you were kind of mentioning in Kaka'ako, like new Kaka'ako, right? Ward Village, they will contract, say, like Mahana, for instance, which is going to be the new third row building, third row meaning like third back from the ocean, at the edge of the Victoria Park, okay, all the way back there, but like great location right by the park. They're going to start sales in 2026, and that means that you won't get your keys until 2029 or 2030. So you're going to pay a price in 2026 that, you know, is designated by the developer as what they deem appropriate for the current market value for the thing that they're selling. But who knows what it's going to be priced at? You know, who knows what that same type of unit, will look like or cost when you actually get your keys 4 years later,
And show me the incentive, I'll show you the outcome. So a salesperson, typically, not always, but a salesperson has an incentive to tell you, buy pre-construction, it always goes up. Well, historically, usually, I bet you, if you look back in every snippet over the last, since buildings are being built, you buy pre-construction, when it's finished, it's usually worth more a lot of the time. but we're
Or
right
even
now.
in that actual building, because you can have, if you got in the beginning of the release, you get a certain price.
Right.
That price may change if, whatever units are left a year later.
Nuance to it.
Yeah.
And so, but we're in a point right now where there's people getting some keys who bought in the wildest real estate market that ever happened.
Mhm.
So there's probably some people getting, some keys now in the recent past and in the near future where they bought in a really, really strong market, and now the market's not that anymore. And so it depends. It's not a sure bet. If you buy pre-construction, you're going to make money, but it's like a probably. It's kind of like we address military clients. We're going to be here for 4 years. Are you saying that if we buy, we're going to profit when we leave? Well, what are you buying for how much?
Mhm.
Probably.
Yeah.
But we should talk about it more than that,
Yeah.
assuming that you want to. Now, some people just come with a conviction. Look, I have 2 Great Danes and 4 kids, and I hate military housing,
Mhm.
and we buy wherever we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I can give in practice, like real life scenarios of people and the conversations I have around Ward Village and buying new construction in there, and the likelihood of when everything activates, how much higher are the property values going to be then. Those are all real things to think about, but you also have to consider a couple of other things when you're buying not only Ward Village, but just new construction in general. One, for a project like Ward Village, your deposits are due pretty early, considering how long, your build date, how far out your build date is. Now, is that money, is that what you really want your money to be in? If it is, then
Yeah.
great.
What does that money mean to you?
Yeah. Would you
Are
be
those all your eggs?
Yeah. Would you be better off investing that in some other thing where your money can earn while you're, you don't earn on that money, point being.
It's dead money for like 3 years?
3-ish years,
Dead money for 3 years.
So that's one thing. The other thing is we are
Do you got it like that?
Do you got it like that? Some people do, and that's great.
Yeah.
It's great. I love that for you. But another question is, how long, what is your plan for this property? Like, for instance, Victoria Place, which is a front row building, one of the newest ones that has recently released. Some people are like, I'm going to buy in Victoria and then I'm going to sell it right away because I know
A lot of people
that it's going to be worth more when I get my keys than I bought it for. Sure, it will be worth more. But the other side of that coin is, yeah, you're in Ward Village though, and there's a ton of units for sale in Ward Village in all these buildings. And there may be
within walking distance
from you that are
hundreds of listings.
1, maybe 2 years away from being brand new themselves, right? So you have in this market where it's new construction and lots of buildings that are coming up, because it's half built, almost more than halfway built at this point. But point being, there's a lot of years, like 2030, I just said this next building, I'm waiting for. There's a lot of years in between when you're going to just hey, I'm going to resell my thing right away because it's going to be worth more.
Yeah.
If that's the play for you, then consider that there's a ton of units there. And because they're all pretty new, there's going to be a lot of competition. So whether or not your property is going to be worth more because it should have appreciated since the time you put your money in and the time that you get your keys, sure, it may be, but you have not a million, that's exactly, let's say 100 other 2-bedroom high floor units, very similar to yours, that are on the market right now that you are competing with. So,
Let me read a sentence. The gray area, pursuing things where a range of potential outcomes are acceptable, is the smart way to proceed. It's my favorite sentence from the book as it pertains to our business. And so you better be able to afford to hold it and rent it, maybe for a loss, depending on what you put down, until it appreciates or until we resolve World War III with China or whatever. Can't count on, a sure thing. Nothing's for sure.
Yeah. Kanaka Haole says, I put 10% or 20% down on my A'ali'i and already cash flowing. A'ali'i is very special because rates were something else.
You have an A'ali'i, Kanaka Haole?
I have a few friends who live in A'ali'i and they're doing good. But you know what? The rate was very low at the time that those buildings were getting, sold.
That matters.
And it's like Mahana it's a third row building, and the closer you get to the ocean, the smaller the buyer pool becomes because the price
Mm.
points get higher and higher. So I mean, I can't say with certainty, but the buildings, second row and beyond towards the third row, they feel more lived in because there's,
Yeah.
more, whether they be owner occupants or like rental, it's just more long-term residents.
People with
there.
normal lives aren't often living front row at $3,000
I mean,
per square foot.
These other units that are coming up in the front row,
Yeah.
millions and millions of dollars for
Yeah,
these
yeah.
units. So
Yeah. It's not normal
A'ali'i
people kind things.
it's a great building, and I still love A'ali'i, but especially like my buddies who got in their new construction, I'm like, oh, they have it made because that was like a great rate that they have locked in. And
interest rate matters. Would you rather buy at $1 million at a 2.5% interest rate or $950 at a 6% rate?
Yeah.
Well, it depends again, but
so
usually $1
congratulations,
million.
man. That's like a great position to be in. Happy for you that you're able to cash flow on it. Good, like awesome.
I want to explain to everyone out there what this guy's username.
There's more before that though.
Okay, but I want to hit on at Kanaka_Haure _96706 because not everyone watching understands the thought put into this and what it all represents. Also, I think
Kanaka, are you like a local holiday? Like, did you transplant and move over here, or are you like local?
Gotta be. You don't put 96706.
Yeah, but he also said locals, referring to locals. But he said like locals hate us, but their wives love us, or something. That's what he said.
No. So yeah, so this guy,
I was like,
I don't recall exactly what he's commented, when and where, whatever. But there's been some like triggering, like he wants to smoke, in his comments from other people or even from us. I guess I don't know. But so the way to say, like what's another race or people that you say what they are, like Japan. We say Japanese, but they would say Nihonjin, right? That would be an example. Or maybe there's probably other ones like that. When you say Hawaiian in the like English dialect, but Hawaiians would say Kanaka Maori, right? And so Kanaka Maori sounds a lot like Kanaka Haure, which is a fun play on words. And then 96706 is the zip code for Eva Beach, which is a area. For example, Kenny observed, he's like, I went to a UH game the other day, and then I went to a Campbell game, which is a high school in that zip code. He's like, the high school game was like
pop it off,
like 10 times more energetic and crowded even than the UH game. And it took me 2 hours to get home, which is only like 2 miles. And I was like, oh yeah, it's that kind of zip code, bro. And so Kanaka Haure 96706, just want to acknowledge that name. Good job, you. Okay, what's next?
Aloha state of mind. Following up on the Diamond Head Sands unit, Mahe did an amazing job selling the lifestyle if you lived there in her video. Yeah, thank you. It's a unique, super cute, unique unit, but it's not for everybody. Like not everybody is in the season where it makes sense for them. The neighborhood is dope.
What's a studio, right?
It's a studio. And when I was there, I was like,
a lot of buyers.
Damn, like younger me, pre-kids who wants surfing tongs and paddling for outrigger canoe club and all of that. I'm like, bro, this would have been dope. Like I would have loved to have something like this for myself.
It's like Gold Coast on a budget, but also better for the right people because you got places to eat, and that street is
Montserrat is so cool now. Like
it's the coolest.
It's Diamond Head.
It's one of the coolest places. I've never been to Brooklyn, but I imagine there's like people who really know Brooklyn know like, oh no, but this like half a block over here, it's its own thing. Or like I lived in the Bay Area and experienced Oakland, and it's like I'm trying to think of like the street that Big Cell Betty's is on, like Rockridge or whatever. Like, but there's like certain streets, and Oahu doesn't have a lot of that. Montserrat's one of the cool, trendy spots.
Yeah.
It's like, why? I got a question. Waialae or Montserrat? Which one do you guys would rather live on?
Montserrat for me.
Yeah.
What about you, Kenj?
Waialae or Montserrat? Because Waialae has a lot more things. It's longer. It's bigger. There's more to do. But you're not walking to the ocean like surfing.
Yeah.
Montserrat's
Montserrat.
cooler. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's you just buy all the way in. It's cooler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely has a cool vibe that I'm like, oh yeah. I'm like, oh man, I almost like, I'm like, I wish I was like at UH Manoa, like to be a UH Manoa student living on Montserrat must be just like,
And oh, here I'm gonna bring my map up. So my computer is kind of slow, guys. So bear with me. So where we're talking about, see that puka right there? That's Diamond Head.
Puka.
Yeah, puka is like whole.
Thank you.
And Montserrat is right here. Yeah. Oh wait, is it right here?
Yeah.
No, yeah, that is right. I was right the first time, right there. So the other thing we're not really acknowledging is you're right next to the closest thing Hawaii has to like a Central Park in New York.
Yeah.
So you go walk to Kapilani Park and there's people playing like volleyball where you only kick, like what is that? Like you kick the ball volleyball or hacky sack or music
Kick the ball
festival.
volleyball. What you mean, soccer?
No. It has to stay in the air and go over a net. Or there's
Oh.
soccer, or there's just someone spinning hula. Like there's just vibrant energy in a big, expansive green area
Mhm.
that we don't really have that. And so Montserrat's cool. It's just cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. And it's a studio. If we had a listing that was a 3-bedroom, single family home on one of the offshoots by Montserrat and we're priced right, it goes right away. But there's only so many people buying studios.
Mhm.
So it's not, small buyer pool that will fluctuate and it will sell. It will sell. All right. What else we got? We got to get going. So let's wrap up these questions.
I think, are we good on?
No, I mean, there's more.
Howdy from the
Questions. We
East
have
Coast.
questions.
How are new condos?
Solid.
I made it somewhat on time.
Monster.
So
I don't know if that's a question.
Soledad Monster Bra. Did the live stop? Someone asked.
Oh, Carmen
earlier.
Gia, he said.
Oh.
Soledad monster bre.
Diamond Head always take long time for sell. Like I said, it depends on what you're selling. It's a studio though, so it is a unique place.
Diamond Head full of Karens, they said.
Okay, weird. Back on after restart. I love that everyone drives tacos and Forerunners. in
Actually,
Hawaii.
I mean, I
Did
want
we
to
restart? We had a technical thing.
maybe
No.
maybe he had one.
Okay. Oh, Carmen Gia. Locals hate
Actually,
us.
I don't think that maybe Diamond Head, I don't know. Maybe Puale Circle is different, but every time I'm at Diamond Head Sands, I have not experienced a single Karen, and I always experience the neighbors over there. In fact, I was outside with the 2 signs. I had 2 open house signs that I could not get apart from each other. And in retrospect, I was like definitely like making a ruckus out there. Like I had my wrist brace on, my one broken hand. I'm like kicking the thing down and the metal A-frame, like making all this noise, and then down comes some some dude in surf shorts. Like, hey, do you need help? Very not like, can you stop making all that noise?
Yeah.
Or like, what are you doing? It was just like,
Well, to be fair, what if it was me
what if it was you?
making noise or whatever?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe you would be doing more hooting and hollering, I think. So
No.
so it'd be different. But
Women get treated more graciously sometimes in those situations.
maybe. Point being though, he came out and he was like, let me help you, and he did. Thank God, because I was just like, bruh, I wasn't even thinking in my head like how I must be looking to like anybody around this area. I'm like,
you're not moving into Mauna Wili when you move into Montserrat. So if your expectation was to have 1950s Montserrat, then you might be
upset.
taken back
Yeah.
by what you experienced. But like, it's a vibrant hustle and bustle, just transplants. And I mean, I would live there.
Yeah.
In the right season of life, right?
Yeah. But you're gonna get Karens everywhere. It's just, I feel like the area, because of how, I don't know, like Pilates and yoga per capita and just the energy of people walking around, I feel like there's like less of that Karen energy because people are a little bit more laid back than they would be in a more buttoned up, like a Kaka'ako, for instance.
Yeah.
It's
a cool place.
Yeah.
All right. I saw they're doing some road work by the Kunia golf course. Are they doing Royal Kunia Phase 2? I don't think so. That field that catches on fire sometimes. I don't, not that I know of, but I'll have to pay attention next time I go over there. Miss Eileen said she loves the drivers in Hawaii. Try to bring that vibe to where you live in California, but kind of hard. Yeah, I remember my chief correcting me. He's like, Derek, you expect all of California to change?
I
Because I
gotta-
would be so mad. I was like, bruh, these people, they cut me off. And then he's like, that's how you drive.
Yeah,
here.
that's like normal, proactive, aggressive driving elsewhere. Over here, it's just like, calm down, Mary. You know, like
yeah.
I just got a bumper sticker. I'm debating putting it on my car. It says, slow down. I'm listening to Kalapana.
Oh, that's cool.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah,
I like that,
I can, I can get down with that. 20% down. Rate says rates are coming down. I put 10% down on my. Oh, he put 20% down. I see. He also believes rates are coming down, but a lot of people have been selling off their U.S. debt, and so that actually affected rates this past week, and they didn't come down the way they were supposed to. So I don't count here. I thought about this yesterday. When I buy, I don't count on rates coming down. Now, might rates come down, and is that in the range of possibilities, as is with today's theme?
Another
But I
nuanced
buy-
conversation. I love it.
I buy assuming rates are going up, actually. So when I'm writing offers and making decisions, I'm aware that rates may come down and probably will over the span of things. But in the near future, and in the next 5-8 years, I'm planning on rates only going up. And so that's the mindset when I'm looking at purchase.
If you're buying a home and you're thinking of this investment, you shouldn't only go into it because you're assuming rates are going to go down and you're going to get more cushy.
Yeah, it's not a
Because
good way to
life just
approach
doesn't
things.
work that way in general. And I don't know if that's just me being like a very risk averse, cautiously optimistic human, but it makes sense when you're making such a large investment as purchasing a home to not be like, for sure, my rate gonna go down. And that's why I can handle this for 6 months and I'm dying and I'm only eating tuna and rice because.
So imagine I'm single and you're a lady out there and you're like, I'm assuming he's going to go back to his old weight of 195.
Oh,
You cannot buy assuming that's going to happen. If anything, you're plan on rates going up. You know what I mean?
correct. Yeah.
I'm 41.
That's right. You
No,
are.
no, we're aware that rates may go down.
Yeah.
But you can't guarantee.
If they do, great, but don't plan for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
there's a lot of nuance to the Fed meeting
Yeah.
and my dinner plate. So you guys put so much hard work and time on YouTube. Has YouTube helped your real estate business? Yes, of course. Our team is our foundation is this. So even if Mahe's cousin's friend wants to buy and it hits her up and it's like, hey, I want to buy whatever. Our foundation is, hey, go check us out on YouTube.
Mhm.
Yeah, great. Let's set a consult. Let's jump on a call. Also, in the meantime, understand who we are and how we approach this business on this large platform that we have. Check it out. And so, yeah, it's greatly affected our business.
Mhm. So thank you guys. We appreciate you guys.
Yeah, Kanaka, them Karens, why you got to set a couple of mortars every week. They're a burger place on Montserrat that's sick AF.
There's like plenty of little sleeper food spots over there that
There's
are
a
really
place
good.
that gives like breakfast skillets to like give you like a little cast iron that has all eggs and potatoes and yeah. San Susie, her condo just
San
bought
Susi.
them this year. Yeah, it's Susie, but
San Susi.
they complain about every noise. Yeah.
Just like the freeway sign said, enough already. You saw that one.
No.
It was like, I
Did-
forget if it was before or after, but it's like, enough already is don't drive all any kind or something like that. On one of the big
Like recently?
signs. Yeah.
Oh.
You know, those big like LED
No,
signs.
I never.
I
Like
dri-
next to the "You Down" sticker.
No,
Kind?
the
No,
electronic,
The electronic
Oh, the
ones
electronic
like on
one.
the actual freeway.
Oh, I might have seen that.
Because you know,
Yeah,
it's
I
like
think
click it or ticket.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
it was like enough already. No drive any kind.
No,
I was
that's
like,
good. So
amazing. I love that.
they're taking like the Hawaii storage
Yes.
place
yeah,
approach.
yeah.
Yeah. There's a famous place, storage place that puts all kind of crazy stuff on their sign in
Yeah.
town every time, so everyone knows about it. I talked to my mortgage agent for the same. I think rates come down this year because I think things gonna start moving again. Gonna try buying Puna. I hope they do come down, and if it doesn't, like, if you can just hope they come down and then they don't, and it doesn't like, sink you, then yeah, great. Let's be optimistic and hope they do. But I've been on that I hope rates come down tip for 3+ years now, and they have fluctuated, and actually historically right now they are down. And so but I think when people say rates going to come down, they want to see something in the well into the fives or like 4.75 because from about 2011 or 12 all the way to 19, it was just 4.5, 4.75 for just a long stretch. And that was normalized. And that's what people are hoping to see again. But I'm not expecting I'm going to see that anytime soon. In fact, I've put my money where my mouth is. I've taken action to try and pay down this. I have an investment property on an arm. And I'm assuming that when it comes time to refi that arm in 3.5 years, I believe, or so, 4 years, that rates aren't good and it would be bad for me. So I'm trying to pay that down. Economy is drowning, so rates gonna come down. I like buying when rates skyrocket, all cash, baby. Yeah, but look at inflation and look at tariffs, and there's a lot of factors. It's not that simple. Just wanted to say that I love Mahe's heart. Her message from your Thanksgiving video was so sweet.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just
Duarave.
another
80s
day.
babies. What are you saying?
It's just another day of Mahe crying on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
80s babies, last of the real. 84 baby 2. Imagine you're a lady. Yeah. I second. Miss Lee. Oh, lunchtime already, guys. Yep. This is a long one. We gotta get out of here. Love you guys. Thank you for commenting.
And then we'll next week 2026 predictions.
Okay, got to prepare for that a little bit.
Yeah.
Although it's not. Imagine you're a lady.
Oh my God. Bye.
I don't want you to expect much. Because there's
I was
a
just
lot
gonna
of,
say it's a nuance. Here we go. We just talked about this. We cannot give you finite. We cannot give you definite. Is this gonna happen or that gonna happen?
but it's a fun cue for a fun conversation
Yeah.
next week.
Yeah.
All right, bye guys.